BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats, news, and scores are available to you to follow your favorite teams. So get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Konnan, did you watch AEW?
I did.
What was the number, Joe?
711,000.
What was last week?
706.
Can you put up the thing so we can see what did what?
Yep. Okay. I didn't see the quarter hours were there, but here we go.
Okay, so it's kind of funny because Dave was
What'd they do last week, Joe, please?
It was 706 to 711.
That number is not bad for
700? Almost 600?
No, last week was 706. This week was 711.
Wow, it really, the biggest drop almost was into the main event with Copeland and Brody King.
Yeah. Well,
the main event match anyway.
The main event's been dropping off like probably 60 to 70% of the time on this show. So it's kind of weird. Well, because usually not the main event match. They don't put on less usually, but this was, I guess, the main event. But it's kind of interesting that there was a thing that Dave was saying that this was in Edmonton, and he was worried about the live audience because there was a huge watch party of the Edmonton-Vancouver game going on like right down the street, right? But I don't think Dave realized that the hockey game was starting after Dynamite was over, so I don't think it would have affected people probably were thinking, okay, we'll go watch Dynamite and then go watch go to the watch party because it was starting after the show was over. So, but the crowd didn't look like small like their other ones had. They had the right parts filled up, so it looked fine.
Well, it says here as far as ratings, Dynamite was sixth for 18 to 49. It was
Joe, I want to make a point here about that because Dave's on the thing talking about how great it does on cable. Okay?
Yeah.
And everybody keeps talking, they condition fans to think if you're performing well on cable, bro, nobody watches cable TV anymore. And what it does is it obfuscates the fact that if, the people that run a wrestling company for years and years and years, aren't worried about how we're doing on our ratings are doing against other competition on cable, whatever. All we're worried about is if we're drawing enough of viewers that we grow our audience enough to fill our seats at the TV taping. That's the only thing that should be part of the discussion. Because it's professional wrestling. It's not just a TV product. You're having people pay to come see the show live. And by saying well, it did great on cable, it's yeah, but bro, you're having a hard time filling. Don't just say that because then you're resting on your laurels and you're saying everything's fine. The problem is you're not drawing enough people to fill your seats at your shows. So it is a problem, and they keep trying to talk about it's not really a problem because we're doing great on cable. Okay, fine, but name one show on cable TV. Joe, I want you to name a show, but besides sports and wrestling, name one show on cable TV right now that off the top of your head.
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. Name another one.
What's the one with all the kids on HBO, Konnan?
See what I'm saying? It's it's very difficult to come up with, and that's not
Euphoria, but you didn't watch it, and that show sucked.
Right, and
I watched some of it. I didn't see it.
That's a paid subscription television. It's not kids.
You liked it?
Cable television. So
no, I was trying to find something for me and my wife to watch, and I was like, "Oh, this is a chick show." Yeah,
right. Yeah, but
she had already watched it.
They're not.
I don't think it was a chick show. It was just like Generation Z show. Or
well, the thing is just because if you finish number one on cable on Wednesday night, but the next week, you still only had 712,000 people. The next week, you still only have 2,800 people in a 9,000 seat arena for your show. It's don't just say, well, we were number one in cable last week. It's yeah, but that's not the principle of what you're doing when you're running a wrestling company. It's to draw fans. So it's really weird that they keep forwarding that narrative, and it's hurting their potential because they think everything they're doing is fine. And it's not fine. So,
what did you think right there, Konnan? And this took me a while to get to because Disco had a dissertation going on there. But Disco used obfuscate. Did you catch that excellent usage of that word, Konnan?
No,
you didn't hear it? Oh, obfuscate's a good one. Yeah, but I just wanted to say that what placed ahead of them was inside the NBA, Bruins Panthers, NBA pregame, and Oilers Canucks. All
sports.
Playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's going to beat the
there are people that don't even watch sports until the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah,
it's true.
I used to be like that with hockey.
Yeah.
I got to bounce for a call, but
okay.
I'll check in. All right. Thank you, guys.
That's okay. All right, so Adam Copeland shows up and he's interviewed by Arcady Aura. And he said he wasn't feeling good. And he said his match with Brody King would now be a no disqualification. Okay. So they go straight to the ring, Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. And this, would have helped because he only did 706,000 people last week, right? And so maybe it'd be clever to show a video package of what's been going on between Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta instead of just having them march up for their match, like fill people in that have been watching the show, but they didn't. And the announcers were trying to explain what's going on, but they don't. The announcers on that show don't sell anything very well. They're not. They may be trying to tell you the backstory, but it doesn't resonate. What do you think about the countdown clock in the corner of the screen? It said there was, the amount of minutes until
unnecessary.
Right. That was pretty funny. So Don Callis came out in the middle of this. They're going at it.
He still has good heat. He got booed when he came.
Yeah, of course. No, he's good. It's good for these guys that he's interjecting this. So Beretta hit Cassidy the running knee. Beretta removed the turnbuckle, was caught by the ref, and Cassidy removed another one that ran Beretta into, and he rolled him up and got the 3 count. And after the match, the referee raised the arm of Cassidy ringside, and Beretta hit Cassidy from behind and worked him over with punches. Then he gave him a pile driver on top of the ring steps, which should have been enough to just, hey, that's it. Let's carry the guy to the back. So, but then Cassidy kind of started making a comeback after the pile driver the thing. He cut him off again and gave him, he beat him down. But Chris Statlander, Don Callis ran over and told him all to settle down. And then Chris Statlander told him, hey, told him to settle down, and he walked off and cussed or something. So I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, dude, I would happily debate this with anybody that thinks I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. But bro, I do not understand. Here's a problem with me with that match for 2. Number 1, Trent Beretta straight tumbleweeds and crickets. He has zero charisma, never has, and maybe never will. And it hurts you when you're not charismatic. He hasn't really done anything in 5 years, really, right? And bro, they're turning him heel, and he's getting heat on Orange Cassidy, and then he does a beautiful pile driver on the steps where he should have left them laying there, and they should have taken him in an ambulance. Right. But no, this guy came back from that. Right. How is that good?
Let me tell you what it reminded me of. It reminds me of...
And not only that, OC, last thing, OC ain't the biggest. Well, it's pretty scrawny.
Right.
That would have been a good place to get some heat on Trent, who needs it, and maybe get a win because he lost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's losing in the first match of their feud.
This is what it comes across to me. It doesn't make any sense. They're trying to make a feud out of this, but nobody's buying. The characters weren't over enough, to measure that this is a blood feud because they're
Orange Cassidy's is not Trent.
Right. Yeah. So, but the thing is that when they do the thing like the pile driver and the steps, and then you do more stuff, it's like, dude, it reminds me of backyard wrestling, where kids see the moves on TV and they do them, but they haven't been trained to know how to sell psychology wise, like how much is this, and they just do a bunch of moves and stuff. That's kind of like what the show comes across as. A lot of moves that don't really mean anything, devastating moves, and it just...
Well, bro, that's been happening since the beginning, but
I know
that's nothing new. I think what's even worse is that it almost feels to me like, again, I shouldn't even have to say this for people that listen to the show all the time, but for new people, I am going to say it. I am definitely not hating. I'm stating I got nothing against, like Trent Beretta and nobody there, bro. It's just weird to me that it almost feels to me like, okay, Trent's friends with the whole LA clique, the Young Bucks and all them. And it seems like Toni likes him because he uses them a lot. And I've always said it doesn't nobody cares who I like, who my boss likes, who Toni likes, who Omega, who nobody likes. You've got to put what's best for business on TV. And I don't think this is it. But right.
I make a point. So next was then they show the Bucks and Okada and Jack Perry driving up in an SUV. And they had the camera POV move in the back seat, so you're seeing forward. There was some guy walking across. Did I miss something here?
Yeah, I don't know who the guy was. I thought it was a wrestler that we would recognize. Yeah,
that it would be part of this was
right. Which would have this was what they should have done. They should have had a baby face there that people like, and him, and then were people going, what a bunch of.
So here was the thing. This was a joke that a long joke where the punchline was, because it took a bit for them to drive through.
Right.
They pulled up and they parked in Tony Khan's spot.
Right, because he's not there.
And that was the end of the segment.
Yeah, like he doesn't need this parking spot, so we'll take this.
Right, and that was kind of like, really? You did all that?
But like a lot of, here's what happens with me. A lot of their stuff, a lot of their heat is very light heat, sophomoric heat, not real heat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So then Jack Perry cut a promo. For some reason, he poured water on his face before he did this. He said Kenny Omega isn't as bad as he did. You see that when he did that with the water?
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's Hunter, or maybe he thinks it's cool.
Right. So Perry said he hoped Omega had fun performing all of his old moves in his hometown for what would probably be his last time, and said Omega was not the hero they needed him to be. Perry said Omega was a coward like everyone else, and now the Elite will change the world without him. Perry said everyone has to sacrifice, and Omega just made his. What did you think of this promo?
Yeah, not a promo that, had me wanting more or even getting me invested into the match.
This guy's too green to be the focal point of your top heel angle on the show, is in my opinion.
That looks like what they're doing.
Yeah. So Kenny Omega, they go to Kenny Omega's in a hospital bed, and he said he appreciated Matt Jackson, reminding him that the attack was just business. He said May 26th will mark 5-year anniversary when it all started, and Omega challenged the Elite to face Team AEW Anarchy in the arena. He spoke of FTR being on Team AEW and hinted that the other two wrestlers would reveal themselves to the Elite tonight.
When I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, and did I misunderstand? He's about to get an operation for diverticulitis, right? And he's going to be wrestling in May?
No. He's challenging. He's not. Is he? Did he challenge? Was he the one?
I'm not sure. That's what I wasn't sure.
Because they have 4 guys on that team, and and at the end of the show it was 4. I don't think he, I was confused. But the other thing was, the bad edit here, because it came back from commercial and they just cut right into, like, they didn't lead in with the announcers saying, like, here's Kenny Omega they just cut right to it. So I don't know. I would have, like I said, so Tony Schiavone introduced Serena Deeb on the stage, and Serena Deeb gets it. She dressed like $1 million out there. She had a really cool outfit on.
Right.
She said,
second week in a row too.
Right. She knows. She understands.
Right.
She said losing to Tony Storm at Double or Nothing is not an option for her. And she said she returned to AEW after being on the shelf for 15 months. She said she suffered a series of 3 unprovoked seizures last year. Is that a shoot? That sucks.
I guess so.
Yeah, she said doctors could not understand why it was happening. Deeb spoke of having a vision of becoming the AEW World Champion during her downtime. And Tony Storm comes out and called Deeb a charity case and threw money at her. Deeb said she would fight for her life to become AEW champion. And Storm said she doesn't give a single about what Deeb has gone through. And Storm and Deeb went face to face, and Deeb turned to leave, and Storm grabbed Deeb and tried to hit her, but Deeb blocked it and hit her with a really good punch that knocked Tony Storm out. I actually like this because then Luther picked her up and carried her back. I thought the punch looked great. I thought this was a decent segment for Serena Deeb in this. There was a close-up shot of the two of them, two of them face to face.
Everything here was good. I was not, and this is being nitpicky, that one girl goes, "Well, I don't," and then the other girl goes, "Well, I don't give a," like they're both bad words right after another.
I didn't be like that.
Right, and the other one was, I was not a big fan. I don't think this was the time and place to be talking about you having a stroke. And if other people out there have had a stroke and all that, I just felt it was out of place. But that could be me being nitpicky.
So they go to they were checking on Orange Cassidy in the training room, and Rocky Romero came in and told Cassidy that Tony Khan informed him that if he can beat Jay White later in the show, they and a partner of their choice would get a shot at the trios title.
Poor Rocky, bro. He's crickets and tumbleweeds too.
Dude, I mean, Orange Cassidy should have said, "I don't give a about the trios title right now. I want to get my hands on Trent Beretta." So that was like a really,
Yeah.
I mean, am I right?
I agree.
That was it's like they got rid of there was no angle anymore. They were talking about the trios title, right? So Romero mentioned Shibata and Trent Beretta as potential partners, and Cassidy said no regarding Beretta and said they would figure it out. I'm like, did he just watch the show? Why would he have to say he's thinking about getting Trent Beretta as a partner? Was it Chuck Taylor? This is a typo. I think I missed something there. I don't know. Whatever. But so Mariah May versus Harley Cameron is next. Soraya's out there. And why this match has happened, I have no idea. So Mariah May is she beats Harley Cameron, and after the match, Soraya attacked May, and then guess who runs out? Do you know who ran out?
In the May fight, in the May match?
Yeah.
Oh, the girl, the Japanese girl.
What's her name?
Shirakawa or something?
Mina Shirakawa.
Right.
And so then they were all happy to see each other, and they teased kissing each other, but they didn't kiss. And then a crew member handed them 2 glasses of champagne they drank together. The funniest part about this was Don Callis is still on commentary out there, right? When Jericho comes out and they're looking at each other, it's very odd. They're trying to do the thing. Don Callis kept repeating, "What is going on? What is going on?"
I think a lot of people are wondering what is going on.
That's exactly what I got out of it. Like, what is going on? That was actually really funny.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect out of this match because I'd never seen Cameron wrestle. It was actually better than
She was better than I expected.
Yeah, better than I expected, but nothing I want to see again. That's number one. Number two, bro, could somebody explain what's the deal between these two already? Why are they almost kissing? Why are they kissing? Why are they drinking wine and dancing?
Excalibur speed talked through this on one segment that they had together where they basically they said they were partners back in Stardom, and beyond that, I guess,
Okay, well, why are they almost kissing and why are they drinking wine and dancing?
That hasn't been explained, but what has been explained is they were partners back in Stardom, and because these guys, nothing resonates with what the announcers say because they never really say anything entertaining or funny or that has emphasis. It's like I still don't know what's going on, but maybe there'll be some online AEW sleuths that know everything about the show that might.
I have a feeling they might do.
Section how stupid we are for not knowing what's going on with you.
I wonder if at Double or Nothing they're gonna have May and Shirakawa versus Saraya and Cameron.
Right. I mean, seems like obvious, right?
Yeah.
So Pac was interviewed by Ora in the backstage area, but they were interrupted by Jay White and Austin Gunn and Cold Gun. And White noted that Pac was coming off a loss to Okada. White said he knows how to get the. Oh, by the way, you know what's funny? When either Mariah May or Harley Cameron came out for their match, you know the caption that says like how many matches they've won and lost? I think the thing from either for Harley Cameron or Mariah May said won her last 2 matches in AEW.
That was the thing.
Won her last 2 matches. Okay, so White said he knows how to get the job done against Okada and said maybe he should go after the Continental Championship. Then they had a Malachi Black video, and Black spoke about how Copeland was so pivotal to the industry and he changed the landscape. And he said Copeland started fearing death and became painfully aware of his own mortality. He spoke about how Copeland found light with his wife and children. And he said the devil sent a man to remind Copeland who he really is. And Black said he has to bring Copeland to the brink of death so that Copeland can live again. So they're obviously built up to a match between him and Copeland, which kind of makes the fact that him against the other guys is in the main event tonight because that's not really, Yeah. So what do you think about these? I mean, from that faction, just, I don't know, they don't really get a lot of heat like they should be, What do you think?
They just come off as J-Bros. That's my problem.
Yeah. So Matt and Nick Jackson wore headsets backstage. Will say the person who put the video together deserves a raise. Oh, by the way, the opening montage package of the show was
great.
All highlights.
That's great. Yeah, they did that last week. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So, so they had the headsets on. They said they would address what Kenny Omega said in the ring. A crew member handed them a sheet of paper, and Matthew said the paper said, "We were about to hear from the AEW World Champion. Go get him, Swerve," Matthew yelled. Swerve comes out without Nana. Showed the highlights and said, Swerve said he understands going for the person at the top and dubbed himself the Connor McDavid of AEW. Called out Christian. Christian walked out with his faction. Christian had a mic and spoke as he slowly walked toward the ring. Christian said he couldn't wait to watch the Vancouver Canucks stomp the Oilers, and Christian stopped at the bottom of the ramp and told the crowd to shut up when they started chanting for the Oilers. Christian said Swerve is not his league, comes up as the face of TBS and Team TNT, deserves to be a world champion, and walked closer to the ring and threatened to take Swerve's gold teeth out of his mouth. That was funny. Swerve said he told Christian he wasn't coming alone, and then his crew comes in behind him. Swerve said he wanted Christian to get in the ring so they could take him out like Kendrick Lamar took out Drake. There's the other Kendrick Lamar reference. Swerve said it wouldn't be the last time that someone from the West Coast took out a fake father from Toronto. That was actually a good line. That was funny. Swerve said Christian got where he is by playing politics game, whereas he had to work to get beat down and get back up to become champion. Swerve dared Christian to come take his title belt, and Swerve said Christian wouldn't do it because he would put him in an uncomfortable position. Swerve said that Christian will say, "I quit," when he's put in an uncomfortable position. That was a good line. And Christian raised the microphone to speak and then lowered it. And then Brian Cage hit him from behind. Toa Leone and Bishop Khan joined in and they started beating him up, so they turned on him. Don Callis actually made the comment, said, "I've known Christian Cage 25 years, and this has all the earmarks of him being involved, him like being the mastermind of this, basically." And they beat him up and slammed him through the broadcast table. And so all the guys did. Now they got them. They finally give these guys some heat so they can just go on TV in the 3 consecutive weeks and get beat by Swerve, which I think is going to happen. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah. But bro, if they had shown this faction together at some point with camaraderie, or it's like they do with the Judgment Day, then this would have kind of worked. But these guys are never together. They're not. I don't know. What do you think of this?
Well, yeah, I just think that, there's just so many people that don't mean anything on that show, And so Cage comes up, looks like $1 million, gets treated like $5, and the other 2 guys who never win.
Right.
Nobody really gave. There wasn't really a lot of heat. Came out of nowhere, and it's disappointing. They have so much talent, so much resources, so many things they could do better, and they always end up giving stuff that I'm underwhelmed by. That's the best way I can put it.
Right. So they go backstage, and Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson there applauding Cage once he and his crew showed up, and Christian credited the Jacksons for the idea and said it was a pleasure doing business with them. Then Matthew asked Nicholas if what happened would be considered a yeah, so the Jacksons now, bro, they should have let the heat on Cage here like it was his idea.
Right.
But the Jacksons, because they're trying the elite.
They're trying to get heat. They're trying to
get heat. Right.
Right.
So they come back from break and they had the broken desk, right? And Callis was complaining about how every place to sit. Don was actually funny tonight. So
yeah.
And so Schiavone barked at Callis about Christian giving the Jacksons credit for coming up with the idea, and Excalibur recapped Willow Nightingale beating Sky Blue. So Willow Nightingale's backstage and she's interviewed by Aura again, and Willow said she wasn't feeling well physically and pointed to her shiner. Aura asked if Willow was ready for Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing, and she said the question is whether Moné is ready for her. Willow said she's sorry that Moné got hurt in their last match, and Willow said Moné may win all of the attention, but she will still win inside the ring. They keep giving her this lame generic material and stuff, but she's actually cut some. She's pretty good on the mic.
She makes them work.
Yeah. So she's good. Like I'll give her credit. She dresses a lot better now too. But yeah, she's of all the girls, she can go like Britt Baker's probably the best girl on the mic there, and Toni Storm. She can go toe to toe with all these girls. She's pretty good. Jay White versus Rocky Romero, and because all the Rocky Romero's faction aren't friends anymore, so they're not out there. But then all the other guys are out there. So Jay White defeats him in 8 minutes and 10 seconds, and they attack him after the match with the guns. And Pac come down the ring, and they grab and it was funny. They had so many belts, it took them forever they couldn't carry him out of the ring. They had to keep going back and pulling him out of the jiu-jitsu. That's actually pretty funny. So, what did you think about this? Anything?
Another good match, 2 good workers that I don't care about, not interested in, not invested in, doesn't have a storyline, thrown together. I'm just underwhelmed is the best way I can put it.
So next, they showed the Samoa Joe training video, which they didn't need that. He's still training. He's the former world champion. He should be cutting a promo talking about why is Christian Cage the number 1 contender for Swerve? I should get my rematch. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So Big Bill and Chris Jericho against 2 jobbers. They win in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Bro, did you know? Remember we talked about the girl Lexi Nair, right?
Right.
And how that's Paige's ex-wife's daughter.
Right.
She's also Big Bill's fiance. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think I had heard that before. Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say if you did know that, I'd say, well, you do now. So Jericho cuts a promo after. Oh, by the way, Jericho comes out. I like how he's waving to the crowd and stuff because of the learning tree. He said he thanked the fans. Said it's always a pleasure to come back to Calgary. And he corrected himself. Said Edmonton. He was getting booed, and they said he said he deserved to get booed. He said you make mistakes, correct them when you were under the learning tree. That was a good line. Jericho thanked Big Bill. He also thanked Shibata last week for their great matches. Said they get the highest rating on CageMatch.net. This is, bro, I like this character. This is funny. So do you like this Jericho character with the learning tree guy? I like it too.
Way better than he was doing before.
Yes. He thanked Hook and said he should take as much time as he needs to recover from what he hit him with the baseball bat. And Tony Schiavone in the ring and informed Jericho that Hook will be coming back to next week on Dynamite. And Jericho said they would celebrate Dynamite together. And it was kind of weird that Tony came in the ring to tell him this, like it was a big surprise.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All of a sudden, Tony was in the ring. I was like,
yeah.
What?
He's like, I want to tell you that Hook's coming back next week. And he thought that Jericho would sell it. He's like, oh, great.
Right. Yeah. He finally got rid of the people.
Maybe that's why they did that.
Yeah.
It's because Toni was thinking he's alerting she got us. He was like, oh, that's fantastic, right?
Yeah, and I did like the him getting that cheap heat by Big Bill doing all the work and then him getting the pin.
Right. So, bro, this show went by pretty good. Like, how much has happened on the show? Like,
Nothing.
not a lot, right? Yeah. So we're already in the main event. So it's this, bro. This match started when there was like 33 minutes left in the show. Okay.
Right.
And I was saying to myself, are you kidding me? These guys are going to do a no DQ, a 30-minute no DQ match. You're going to be out of your mind, right?
Well, they basically
so
did.
I was fast forwarding through most of this because they were just, it's a no DQ, just hitting, bleeding, everything. Copeland Spirit King through the ropes, and then both men went to through the table on the floor, and they returned to the ring, and Copeland Spirit getting beat him. After the match, King got this. This was. Tell me what you think about this. So after the match, King hit Copeland later and beat him up. Then Kyle O'Reilly ran out, dressed in green shorts, like black, like he changed. You know what he called? Dude, this is exactly what he looked like at our club. Okay, at Sapphire, right? When a person would come in dressed like that and say it's like, it's winter time and it's 40 degrees outside or 35 degrees outside, we always say that's a Canadian.
Right.
He was dressed like but he was in Canada, right? And he looked kind of like he looks very uncomfortable in there.
Well, not just that he looks uncomfortable, bro. He just looks like somebody from staff that was, putting together catering or something, just ran out real quick to do a run-in. No, I'm sure the smart fans know he is, but I'm sure casual fans were like, is this guy?
Right.
And he didn't get no reaction. That's the other part.
Plus, two, the shirt he was wearing was his merchandise. It was a Kyle O'Reilly t-shirt. That's the one assuming he was, right? But the funniest thing is, Copeland just beat this guy. The guy started getting heat back on him. Then the two baby faces had to 2-on-1 that they healed to let them stop getting the heat, which is kind of just it's good for Brody King, but this would have been a good spot for all of the House of Black to come in and get heat, and two baby faces fight off three heels. Would have been I don't know. Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
I do. The logic on this is kind of really weird. Okay, so you tell me what you thought about this. What do you think about the match? Right.
No. The match was okay. They both worked hard, and the finish was risky. It hit his spear through the ropes on a table, right? Right. So the match was good, but you knew who was going to win, right? So that really kind of, they're setting up for Malachi Black, right?
Right.
So yeah, the match was good. I just didn't like what's coming up next.
Right. So next is they go to a Mercedes Moné interview last week. She's interviewed by Aura backstage. She said she said AEWs were the best wrestlers. She said she thrives in the spotlight under pressure. She said she'd be courtside for Boston Celtics game and throw out the first pitch of the Red Sox game. She said she's ready for Willow and said Willow took something she can't get back, time. Moné wondered why this happened to her and whether she'll be good as she once was, and Moné said she will be. She said Willow had the run of her career because of her, and Moné said she would wipe Willow's stupid smile off her face. I would love to know how many takes this promo was, because it sounded like her. She's got her rider from the WWE, so it sounded like a WWE scripted promo. Man,
we've been saying this since she got here. She is miscast. She should be a heel. Her delivery's a heel. Saying that, I'm going to throw the first pitch and I'm going to be at courtside. That shit a heel would say. Right. Now, Willow could probably, as a babyface, get away with saying it. But she doesn't talk like a babyface or act like a babyface or even smile like Willow. She just seems kind of like, I wouldn't say bitter, but she seems heelish.
Right. So they go backstage, and Copeland and Kyle O'Reilly there with Paige's ex-wife's daughter. Copeland thanked O'Reilly for helping him out. O'Reilly said he was happy to help out against the House of Black, and said he had a favor. Said Collision will be in his hometown, asked for a Cope Open match. And the way he asked for it was like, hey, Cope Open, huh?
Right.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
It's like, And Copeland asked if O'Reilly came out to help to get closer to the title, then agreed to give him the match, and they shook hands. So what do you think of that segment backstage?
Really,
I thought it was funny,
Yeah,
because the way he said it, I was like,
"Yeah,
hey, so how about it next?"
That was funny, but I didn't think there was much to it.
Right. So the Elite comes out. Jackson said they asked for an overrun because he had an important message, and once in the ring, Okada dubbed himself as the best bout machine and told Kenny Omega to get well soon. And because his English isn't that good, there's not a heelish tone in his promos. He just sounds like a guy that has trouble speaking English. Then Matthew looked in the camera and said he knew Tony Khan was watching. He said Khan is the best boss he's ever worked for and hope he gets better. And Matthew said he just wished that Khan realized they weren't trying to hurt AEW, They're trying to make it a better place. Matthews said Khan left them no choice but to give him a Tony Khan driver. Then he addressed Omega and said they had to give an EVP trigger to an EVP. Nicholas said the only reason FTR saved Omega is because FTR hates the Young Bucks, and Nicholas accepted the anarchy in the arena match for double or nothing. Then wished the Team AEW luck finding 2 more men. So FTR comes out on stage, and they got their T-shirts and jeans on with sneakers like they do every week. Hardwood admitted it wasn't easy to find people to go against EVPs, but he thinks he found 2 guys big enough for the job. Eddie Kingston comes out, and then Bryan Danielson came out, and they actually showed a fan in the crowd that was super excited that Danielson came out. Then Shivani announced that Danielson returned to Action Collision next week for Dynamite in his hometown of Everett, Washington. Then Team AEW as a ring, they brawled with the Elite, and they closed the show with the brawl. What'd you think of this last segment? I'll tell you what I think. This was bro. If you wanted to say something impactful, when what's his name? When Matthew said he just wished to Khan. Okay, Matthew said Khan is the best boss he's ever worked for, and he hopes he gets better soon. And said he just wished that Khan had realized they weren't trying to hurt AEW; they're trying to make a better place. Bro, if you want to make this angle good, it's like you should say, dude, you're running this place into the ground. The ratings aren't good and everything. We're taking over from now on because this was our idea. Like, say something like, but that this is cheesy wrestling, edgy. You know, it's like say right. You know, I don't know. They missed an opportunity here. Maybe Tony doesn't want to be buried on the mic by these guys. But dude, if you want to do this angle, they have to bury you. Right. I mean, they just gave you a pile driver. So they obviously have better money. They got to say the words to back it up. You know. So what did you think of this?
I have a lot of friends in the locker room, just like you do. Have a lot of friends on staff, just like you do. We wanted to succeed. We wanted to get better. We've given solutions. We've analyzed it. And still, the show, when I watch it, I'm always underwhelmed. And I'm always thinking, dude, you could do this better. You know, you have the resources for it. You know, in AAA, they always go, what's your excuse? Because I don't have any resources. And I just do what I can with what I have, which is not much. But they've got all the money to do things right, and they still don't. So that, I don't know. That's how I look at it. I look at it sometimes like major league players on a minor league team. Right.
They can be so much better. So that's been our AEW.
Well, what do you get when you watch it?
Hoping that there's some good stuff.
Right.
You know, just like, bro, like I said, it's like, you don't remember.
Okay, like what good stuff was on this week? It was a 2-hour show.
Let me give you an example. Well, I'm going to give the top 5 of the week. That'll be included in this. So, you know, if you look at professional wrestling, like these days, if you look at both companies, and if you look at every show as like it's like a Saturday Night Live episode, just a different segments, different vignettes, different comedy segments, you know, whatever, or different just segments, right? Bro, it's like sometimes AEW like has only one at best, like one good segment on the show that I really liked, and sometimes WWE like they never have just one; they always have like probably like 3, but they have a lot of misses too. And as I just look at, like, I pick out, like, these were my favorite segments of the week on wrestling, and just AEW very rarely has any of them. And for a lot of guys that I would expect, like, this would be my favorite segment of the week, like Christian Cage and Swerve having a verbal confrontation. I thought that, you know, you would think that would have been, like, you know, probably better. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. You know, and they turn them so, like, that's what I think is, like, missed opportunities where there's chances to get good heat and missed opportunities, you know, that's the way I look at it. Missed opportunities constantly every week. Well, what about you?
Same thing. Yeah. Everything I said plus what you just said.
Right. All right, so that's been our AEW review.
Boom. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.